You know, yo, it is. You know, it is. It's your man King Musa. Welcome to the Strengthened by Faith podcast, Romans 1:12. This podcast features intimate conversations with individuals who have experienced remarkable journeys of faith, sharing how Jesus Christ has profoundly impacted and transformed their lives. Through these stories of hope, redemption, and strength, we aim to inspire listeners to embrace their own faith journey and discover the transformative power of Jesus. Joining me today, we have your boy, Dustin Smith! What's going on, buddy?
What's going on,
Man, go ahead and, introduce yourself. Tell us, of course, your name, where you're from, and, your hometown, major, things like that. How old are you?
What's up? My name is Dustin Smith. I'm from Palestine, Texas. And my major is about to be theater. I can say what is SRT?
No. What is SRT? About to be theater,
Yeah.
Exciting. You say you're from Palestine. His brother was on here last week. Justin. So we got Dustin today.
Yeah.
I'm super excited, y'all. Just because we get to hear another part of the story, another version. I'm super excited, boy. It was just beautiful, just to see what happened in his life. So we're gonna see here. And so where did the faith start for you, bro? I don't know if you want to dive right in because I'm kind of excited.
Oh no, I can totally dive right in.
Okay.
Because my walk with God has been, I could say, since I was young.
Mm-hmm.
Because I grew up in a Christian household.
Yeah.
And so I was surrounded by faith, really growing up.
Yeah.
And it was more of a type of I know of God type thing. Because you're a kid, you don't understand.
Yeah.
You don't know things yet. But I think it really started kicking in around high school. And I think this was a blessing because throughout not all my life, but a huge part of my life from 2nd to 8th grade, I went to a private school.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was just fully surrounded by God the entire time because the private school I went to was a Christian-based school.
Yeah.
It was a CHA, Christian Heritage Academy. And before that, I was going to not small public school, but just a public school, 3A.
Okay.
Called Westwood.
In kindergarten first.
Yeah. It was kindergarten phase, which I actually repeated phase grade 2 times.
First grade?
Yeah. But because I'm about to be a sophomore in college, I'm going to be back on time. It's insane to think about, but it's so late.
That's good. That's God's transformation. So when did you start private school? What grade?
Yeah, it was 2nd grade. Because we had issues growing up.
Mm-hmm.
I guess with bullies, but also just health issues. And being in that school system wasn't going to help us figure out all that we needed. So my mom got blessed us and got hooked up with a good private school. Went there for so many years, 7 years I believe. And then after that, because the school I went to, they cut off 8th grade.
Okay.
And so it's we gotta go back to public school and then to private school. I was like, I'm gonna go to private school. I'm sorry, dog. And so we decided.
You're living that private school life.
Yeah.
Okay, my bad. The rest of us had public school. We made it through. We had the grace of God on our side.
Yeah. And we only, I think it's blessed to be this way because I went back to Westwood High School. And it was a huge walk of faith. Really.
Okay.
And it was a huge test. But also, I think that's when I could say is when my faith started to really become a thing. I was really starting to fall in love with Christ in middle school.
Okay. So, you're at private school. This Palestine, Texas. Is it popular over there? Is it small town over there?
Dog, no one knows of us. You ask, do you know Palestine, Texas? People are not going to be known unless you're from Anderson County. Yeah. Shout out to all my Anderson County dogs.
Yeah, shout out to y'all. So small town.
Yeah,
small town. Christian school. How is God being introduced to you in the Christian school? You know what I'm saying?
It's through the teachings they have because growing up in that school, they put God in everything.
Yeah, this is your foundation. So I want to know, how are they building your foundation of the faith?
Basically, because from the way that our school works, we have things like chapel.
Yeah.
So actually, that's how I kind of started my foundation. And actually, I began doing piano lessons in second grade there at CHA. Kind of quit after 1 year, but I always had piano with me. And then I started the favorite song I played for church was at CHA, just for the chapel.
Yeah.
Because I did drums. That's when it really started. And especially because you grow up in that environment, play music in class, and listen to Christian music. So I actually came up listening. The basic band I ever got into as a kid was for King Country. Yeah, for King Country. I don't know if you know about that band.
I'm from Houston. Okay?
Yeah.
So a little bit about me. I'm from Houston. So we're rap music. We're gospel music. Like I grew up. Yeah. So I grew up on the hot stuff. Yeah. So I'm trying to learn country music. I'm trying to learn alternative rock. I'm trying to learn these songs. So that's what we got the vinyl. We got all these things just because it's the goal is to be more musically inclined, especially with the radio. You want to know your audience and stuff. So I'm open to learning. Put me on. So I won't know them, but introduce me.
Yeah. So King Country is a Christian band. Two brothers started it. Mm-hmm. They come from Australia actually.
Really?
But they grew up in Tennessee, and it's pretty funny.
Yeah. So we have an influence. You got godly influence in the school. Godly influence in your music.
Yeah.
Is school. I mean, from Justin's explanation, y'all had more of just being able to just like you said, go to chapel, do it it was just this. Oh, the science, for an example, your science class,
I was gonna bring that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because it's when it comes to that, they teach a creationist point of view.
Okay.
So
creationist, I've never heard that.
You never heard so that's crazy. So creationism is basically there's this I won't say the two sides of the spectrum because it's a whole big thing. But basically you got evolutionism. I don't know if that's what it is. My mind's been
believes in
and evolution and stuff like that. And it's just roots in atheism. And then creationism is basically you believe in science through God. And you believe in just
what is an example of science through God? I've been in science classes all my life and I've never had the chance to have a reference of science class to that, our egg drop class, you know what I'm saying? How would they make that part of a godly science?
It's basically the whole thing. You teach kids God knows you and he made this and he made this for you and he laid this foundation. It's basically the same thing, but I don't know if I can say an example because basically it's just we see science. It's this is science, doing our geography and stuff like that. But then it's all because the textbooks we have are also Christian rooted, and so it's all they say God made this is how God made this for us, and then also it links up with the Bible and some stuff in the textbook you read, and it's all you have the things at the bottom no questions. It's all okay, how God did this for us. It's
how I would have probably aced the science class if I knew I need to reference it back to the Bible. I probably would have more understanding of the world and the seasons and the times, and how God plays a role into it, more than me understanding cumulonimbus clouds and, stratosphere clouds. I don't need to know that. I'm trying to know God.
We did the same thing, because I remember looking at the textbooks and having the cumulonimbus clouds and stuff like that.
So how would they? So they'll still give you the actual scientific information.
Yeah.
They'll refer you back to Genesis in the beginning.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Okay, so they give you references back to the Bible.
You just opened up a core memory for me actually by saying that, because it was a third grade. I think it was fifth grade, sixth grade. So it was in middle school area. There's this thing called Answers in Genesis, and basically,
what's it called?
It's called Answers in Genesis.
Answers in Genesis.
And it's a big thing, especially for the creationist community. because the guy that leads it is an Australian guy named Ken Ham, and he's well known. And basically, we would watch these videos, and it's just him talking about different debates and stuff like that, but also just like creationism and stuff. So it was almost like a course we took.
Yeah.
But it was like middle school, so it might be pretty weird.
That's cool though, because like imagine you get to know the world around you is created by God.
Yeah.
Oh, I would. Okay, that's a blessing.
Yeah, no, it really is a blessing to have
really
that.
is a blessing. So you have this God view of the world now, getting ready to go into high school.
Yeah.
Just reality hits you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What does that look like? You know what I'm saying? Was it a surprise of like they lied to me, or these people don't understand what I understand? Like, how were you able to go back into the world?
So how it came up really was going to high school. I never really got judged for being a Christian. I actually never got really attacked for being a Christian at all.
Yeah.
Because we did have like in high school we had like clubs and stuff. So it was like a Christian club.
Mm-hmm.
I joined that freshman year, and I just didn't like doing clubs and all this stuff like that.
You didn't like it?
Yeah, I just wasn't into it because I'd be at the school and I'd band and stuff like that I'd go to, and then I'd really do like theater production because I was like scared. I was afraid they'd put me on stage.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not scared anymore, but
It'd be like that. I think if you actually stay behind, you watch, you get comfortable,
Yeah.
to see, and then you talk to the people and they tell you, "Oh, I'm nervous all the time when I go up. I have to go." Blah,
Yeah.
blah, 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 blah.
yeah, it's funny. I was just talking a couple days ago. I had a homegirl back from whenever I was in my CHA, and I decided to text her just to check up on her because she was also in the theater growing up, and so we like understood each other that way. And she was like, "Oh, I have stage fright." I'm like, "I watched you in the play. I don't know what you're talking about. You're good at this."
I have stage fright.
Yeah.
I have stage fright. Like, as I have to go do morning motivation every morning at 10, the people in my class, like in my math class, know that I'm trembling. I'm fear. Like, I don't know why the devil likes to mess with me with fear at that time, but I mean, even last Friday, shout out to my boy Garrett. I was just walking out, getting ready to do my morning devotional. He stops me like, "Hey, bro, you want some apple cider and prayer?" So he prays on me. He's like, God didn't give us a spirit of fear, but courage and sound mind. That's all I needed. That's all I needed. Boy, I was juiced up with just the right, myself. It's only because, number one, you're speaking out about faith. You're talking about God. It's not scary to talk about God. But to me, it's whatever message I get, whatever conversation I have, especially if I'm teaching, I have to teach the right way. If I'm testifying, I can testify. It's not an issue. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can always testify and not be an issue. But when you start teaching, you're held accountable to the things that you teach, right? Yeah. And so I'm sitting there like, this is just for me to be able to express to y'all what my morning devotion is like, and things that I implement in my day to keep me motivated, and so God's been working on me to be able to pray out loud, and like pray for the people, just because that's another way of taking out the pressure of, you being the person who's, being recognized or whatever. So just the nervousness of praying out loud, like I sometimes feel like I talk too much because I was told as a kid. I'm gonna look at me now. I get paid to talk, so leave me alone. Like, this is exactly so you can't tell me what I'm doing. Anyways, so that stage fright was something that I had to outgo. Like, I'll be at church sweating. I'll be in a suit. They think I'm outgoing. I'm all talkative, But being out there and having all your insecurities, all your worries, everything that you believe and disbelieve of yourself becomes reality. So it's real. It's real.
Especially because the thing about this part of the testimony, this is probably the part I hate talking about. But at the same time, it was such a big thing. This is probably where my life really started for me. And honestly, it was like high school. Because in CHA, the thing I always didn't like about it was I felt like I had no identity. And I was trying to look for an identity because back in the 6th grade, I started finding myself a little bit in music.
Yeah.
so I started getting into like band stuff. I started falling in love with bands like Trillium Pilots.
Yeah.
Which actually they're rooted in Christianity, which I think is like
blessing. Yes. And I didn't even notice that at first until I started like, your songs are uplifting and spiritual a little.
Yeah.
They're not forcing it, but they're still adding.
Yeah, they always have Christianity in the music, and it's the same thing with like their first album. They're so titled album, Trillium Pilots. A lot of it talks about God, especially this song, Attic with a Pen. It's all about Jesus.
Yeah. Okay. So you said this part of the testimony is kind of challenging.
Yeah. When I challenge it, it's like I look back on it and I'm just cringing at everything that happened.
No. I wouldn't cringe because to me it's God's development.
Yeah, same.
He calls it good regardless.
Yeah.
Because you might be in the Christian club might have bothered your faith because you come from a more strong rooted place of God, so your understanding of God is so much more stronger and healthier than somebody who's been in like the public school system or whatever, just got a little piece of God. And so you're going in there, you might have more zealous or more passion or whatever, and you're sitting there like, this ain't it, you know what I'm saying? So the Holy Spirit didn't lead you there. He was like, I'm gonna lead you to music just so you can be able to express. And then you're gonna find, those Christian artists and things like that. You're still within the spirit, you're still within that. So, but God bless, but you agree.
Yeah. And so, for me, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, going in like high school like that, it was a little bit of a culture shock. But I told myself I should go and like just expect it to be bad because it's just public school, man. And at the time, I was naive, especially going in, because like when you grow up in like a Christian school like that, you don't have a lot of street smarts.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that's like a lesson for me from high school is I came out knowing my stuff, knowing what to stay away from.
So that was my thing, right? Like I was hedge protected by my parents. Like I grew up, church was the only place I went. That was, you go to school and then you go directly to church, you know what I'm saying? You hang out with church all week, your weekend, everything is church. You go out to church events, if you're going to 6-5, you're going to church group. So church. I get to high school or like middle school and you have to have this like street smart. You have to have this culture smart about like shows, like everybody hit Chris and this and that. Like, and I don't watch this stuff. Like I don't know about these celebrities. I don't care about their life. I'm not gonna be invested in it. It's just not me. So how was that for you?
It sucks because they try to make you fit in. It's like sometimes you just don't want it.
But it's hard to not have this conversation. Like it's hard to not be in the conversation. Right? So what challenge did that present for you?
For me, it's just the environment I was
in. The faith, like did it trouble the faith a little?
This is the part where I'd say it did trouble faith, especially because, in high school, I'm trying to find myself in between classes. Especially going to theater, dude, my first day of because I started on tech theater, I was terrified. I was like, who's all these people that don't look all that Christian? And stuff. I was just terrified.
Yeah, the theater kids.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. That was, dude, it was so scary because I'm all like, they're gonna freaking kill me, bro. They're gonna eat me and spit me out.
And you got to see everything, dude. Everything, just because they're close to each other.
No, I'm not gonna lie. The company I was in. It was like my last year of high school for me. It was like being in a dysfunctional family because all the stuff that's going on. And the thing because actually I'm not gonna lie, I did. Someone from, I don't think it was Ennis, Texas. Yeah, it was Ennis. They went to school in Oklahoma with my mom, high school together, and she's the mayor of that place. And she had got me to go to theater, and so she said, if you get your theater degree, you can come and direct at the children's theater. And I'm over here thinking about high school, and I'm like, dog, 2 times in class that I watched 2 kids have a freaking gender reveal party. It was insane.
And what did the professor say?
It said nothing.
No. Like before, what did you just say before the gender reveal party.
Oh, I said someone from Escape like offered me to like go do like directing at a children's theater, and I'm sitting there and I'm like,
you want me to?
I watched some stuff happen in theater.
Yeah.
I don't think I want to do that, but I'm open to it because it's a job that pays well. I don't mind doing directing.
Well, you might be the light into these kids' hearts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like they probably all been finding ideas. Because what we do is we look for experiences or people or moments or stories of things that we're going through.
Yeah.
Right? Things that we're struggling with. So when they find these theater people or, find this way of escaping or whatever, they kind of lose that. And the same way God was able to bless you to, the creative science thing, being able to connect the world with God. You being that light in the theater, you know what I'm saying? Of being able to say, we do this for God, we can still have God in the midst of how we behave, we don't have to. All the things that happen in entertainment, we know the entertainment industry is ran by the devil. Like, I ain't gonna gas you, a lot of Christians get scared or they mess up in this industry. So.
Yeah. That's one thing I never want to do because I've watched some of the bands I was into, Under Oath is a Christian emo band.
Yeah.
But they started out, as a Christian emo band, then they gave up their faith. I'm looking at them, I'm like, fools, do that. I just
what does that look like?
I found it silly because they just gave up their faith and now they're just not a Christian anymore. Your name doesn't make any sense because you're under oath. Now you're not anymore. Now you gotta change the name. That's embarrassing. I'm sorry.
You call yourself under oath, then you broke under oath.
That's what I'm saying. That's literally what happened.
You are a liar. Okay, so we're in freshman year.
Yeah.
Were you already listening to rock music at this time?
It wasn't because I wasn't having any rock music. I grew up listening to 70s music with my family.
Yeah.
So I was raised on Billy Joel and Elton John and stuff like that. I listened to them with Led Zeppelin. When I started playing guitar, one of the first guitarists I learned was Black God by Led Zeppelin. And stuff like that. So yeah. I started getting a little bit into rock. Only then in junior and senior year that I started getting heavy to my punk rock stuff.
So, what was the influence of public school and just the life and what you saw in public school? Then what was the influence of theater, and what was the influence of the music, right? So these are the three things: the stuff you're watching, the stuff you're in, engaged with, and the things that are feeding or talking to you, right?
Yeah.
So what is that influence going on? And then are you getting any other godly influence? Are you in any devotional? Are you going to church? Are you under any pastor? What's going on?
Yeah. So at that time, in this system, where I'm from, we have a couple churches in the area. One named Palestine Church. I primarily went to that church, and that's been my church family ever since I've been going in 6th grade. And I was still attending there freshman year, but I'm not gonna lie, towards the end of freshman year, I was trying my best to listen to God. It's just sophomore year I started to lose God because I had gone through some issues with I started falling in mental health battles and stuff like that. Because I met a girl who I thought, oh hey, because I never had a relationship like that as a kid. And so finally having that, I was like, ooh, I like this, and try to make it work. Because that he just has a nice smooth over here. Very trendy. Yeah. And that's actually honestly because whenever quarantine hit, I remember checking my phone and then she just says she's done and she's blocked on everything. Yeah, that's when
bro.
This
freshman year too.
Yeah, dude. Oh man, it was a good entrance. And actually, that's when I started making music because one of my homeboys, shout out James, he got me on Lil Peep. So I started listening to Lil Peep.
Yeah.
And because he was like, you might like this because there's in trend and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, let me check it out. I fell in love with it. And I did. I still bump people on this day. I was like looking where he made music, and I was like, okay, what's stopping me from doing it?
Yeah.
What's stopping? Like, I can start right now. What's stopping me?
Mm-hmm.
Loaded the garage band on my phone, started making tracks.
Yeah.
Released like 2 that night. Did trash. It's still on my YouTube.
Hey, we gotta listen to it. So what was those first songs like? What were they talking about? Like,
so actually, dude, the first song was wild because in that year we had this dude named Zeke, who was drum captain. He was singing a snare, and he was a Satanist though. But like the thing about the way he dressed and everything, I thought it was cool. And I was like, I'm just like this dude, but I'm a Christian. And so he did come from a Christian house, so it's just some things happened and things got bad. Praise to Zeke. I genuinely hope everything's going good with that dude. You know, he has a kid now. But basically what happened was, I remember because it was like 5th period, Miss Asbury's, all my homies are in there, especially Dave's. One of the dudes, Aaron, he comes in, yo, Zeke just got arrested outside, and we're all freaking out because Zeke just got arrested. I remember going to class later that day to band because it was like ensemble now.
Yeah.
It was concert season. I mean, Mr. A is telling us, okay, what happened to Zeke? That's with him. We're gonna carry on. And I was like, that's insane.
Wait, what? So this is the first person you're making the song with, right? Like,
No. So what happened was, I was like, shoot, what should I make? Because I'd only been writing songs for a couple of years now. What should I make a song about? And I called it The Fall. And it was just a little rap thing about like Zeke going to the gym. Like, dude, everyone loved you. Why did you live your life here like that? Because I'm not really gonna say how I went to jail, but it had to do with like drugs.
Of course. Okay.
Yeah, it was dog. It was so insane. It was like one of the craziest things I ever like witnessed in high school.
So the song, you know, what was the message? You know,
It was like the main message was talking about. It was like, dude, you threw life away, like that. Like I looked up to you. A lot of people looked up to you, especially as a drum captain. It wasn't even like hate to see or anything. It was just like, do better next time.
Yeah.
Basically. But then, and then the second song released, I think, because I released an EP first, so it was like 4 songs. It was called like Song from the Closet Doing Love. It's an aging game, I don't know.
Hey, no, I think that's a perfect start. I think someone will be able to loop back this.
Like, now that I think about that name, I think about the nade emoji with the finger up. Song from the Closet Doing Love. Get out of here. And, yeah, that whole EP actually kind of like started the whole thing for me and stuff. And then I did actually eventually get with someone for 2 years, and I met them like sophomore year. They're talking about like, oh, I liked you. It's just you're messing with that other chick, and I thought you hated me. I was like, dog, we spoke the first day of school, and I was happy he spoke to me. Then you acted like you didn't even know me the next day. So what are you talking about? What are you talking about? I did the bad thing. You ghosted me all because I was talking to some chick and it wasn't even a thing.
Well, they be jumping to conclusions.
I'm saying, like we wasted time because of that. We could have been a big like that.
My heart would have been broken.
Yeah, dude, we wasted time. I'm saying, dog. The thing about the chick I was messing with before, like named Audrey, she was like, so the girlfriend I had for 2 years, his name Olivia.
He aired out days.
Yeah, and then she was telling me like, don't mess with Olivia, don't get by you, and I'm like, okay, bro.
Oh man, and
But it was one of
they
the
be knowing the
type stuff.
replacements. That's crazy. Like,
Yeah.
they be knowing who's better. They be like,
because once I got this thing, my music started really changing around sophomore year because I started getting like Suicide Boys, Substance and stuff like that, and still keeping my stuff. And actually, Suicide Boys is what got me to listen to punk rock because it's 2 guys as well, Ruby the Cherry and Scream. And Scream is one of the producers. I do a lot of my production stuff based off the way Scream produces. So a lot of my songs now are following like, not following because I hate like copying, and stuff.
It's inspired.
Yeah, it's just influence. And 'cause I'm into fast rap stuff, some like stuff like Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heard them.
Both those.
Heard them.
Yeah.
I don't remember their music, but I have heard the name.
Yeah, because I started getting like 90s stuff, so like NWA stuff, yeah, and like ECE.
So, the first album was more of an inspirational album, right? Or the
yeah,
first
it's
EP,
more like I'm
right?
trying to find my
Because-
sound.
Because of the artists that you was listening to, right? Like they
Yeah.
were these Christian
I ain't gonna lie,
uplifting
though.
artists, right?
Yeah,
So, what and who are these new artists? How are they, speaking into your life or into your emotions and stuff?
Yeah.
And into your music? How are they influencing you?
it was more like the stuff they talk about. I decided more like it's stuff I can release my pain to because I can find that in Christian music.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with
Okay.
Christian music. It's just
You're trauma bonded.
yeah.
You're trauma
It was
bonded.
that
Okay.
exactly. That's how you like that race. Like that's why kids get onto that.
Yeah.
It's trauma
J. Cole.
bonding.
I
Yeah.
say it. All y'all J. Cole fans, y'all just be trauma bonded. He ain't telling y'all nothing. J. Cole's
Yeah.
complaining about his mistakes, and y'all are all praising him and saying like, "Yes, like I went through this too." J. Cole, give us answers, bro. Stop.
Yeah,
Stop.
yeah.
Sorry.
Another way, and this is gonna be a little bit like more heavier topic, but one way I started like getting into it was a lot of self-discovery around the time that summer between freshman and sophomore year. Because then I started like also diving into like sexuality and trying to find myself.
Yeah, 'cause you got a relationship at this time.
Yeah. Well, not yeah. It's more my relationship with Olivia started. I think it was October of sophomore year, and around that time I was like starting to like change up the way I listen to music. Like, especially like my second album that I made, it was like heavily inspired by Tyler the Creator and stuff. So, but a lot of it started because I started like going on with what he was saying because a lot of it started lining up with my life. And
Yeah.
on my first EP, it's the last song on the EP called The Play. It basically, it kind of like was not prophesized, but it said what was gonna happen in the future.
Yeah.
Talking about like with my ex. And because it all did come out and happen, and I didn't even mean to write about it, and then it just like prophesied it. Until I was like listening back to it one day, I was like, dude, this is exactly what happened.
Yeah.
And so I started following suit with it and just kind of combining all that happened up with everything. I started following my music, like, no, this has to be in the timeline. This has to fit the timeline too. This is a story. And so I started splitting up all my stuff in sagas. So we have like the Purple Saga, which is those first couple albums and EPs. Then we got the 800 Saga, which is about more mental health stuff like me. And then some like people I had like good stuff with in high school. Like people I consider like my sisters and stuff.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that's you.
You're making me cry right now. Like, you're a high school student
Yeah.
breaking down albums, like sagas,
Yeah.
comfortable with it. Like, where did our kid like passion and grind go where we said, bro, I don't care. Like, I'm on another project. Like,
Well, I think-
up and keep going. Like, I don't care what people
Yeah.
say, do, or anything. Like, I'm doing it.
Because the reality is it carries on with you to adult life. You just what you do because
That's where you find your
yeah,
passion.
especially me being like more left brain as a kid, so drilling into creativity. It's just always been that way through art, music, and even like writing. Like I'm a poet, really, because I hate writing about stupid stuff. If I gotta write about something, it has to all match up, and it has to all be the deepest part of my heart and my mind.
Yeah.
And where I'm coming from. And so it was the same thing with going through high school because it made me learn a lot about humanity, especially myself as a person. It's just, I had my ups and downs. And I had moments where I walked away from God because growing up I had a clean mouth, but then sophomore year came up and I felt, that's the first time I truly felt broken with sophomore year. I was like, I can't do this anymore. I just started getting off. One thing I can be proud of is that I've been straight edge ever since I was like young, so it means like you don't do You don't do drugs, you don't drink.
Okay. Yeah.
One of those is like you don't do sex, but how do you that in a minute?
Yeah.
Because this is what I mean that this is why I say I'm measuring as my ex is because when I got into like sophomore year, I met her. She was like a grade above me. I was 16, she was 18. Freaking crazy. And
But now you're trying to fit into a character and a position that you are not. You're trying to mature faster and do everything fit into what society and what she would want.
Yeah. Like I thought it was grown and I wasn't. And so I started falling like sexual sin a lot, which is something I carried around with me a lot when I was a kid. And so I had
to carry around with you a lot.
Like I just had like a bad one addiction as a kid.
Yeah.
And it was through the kid, like it's because as a kid I was quiet. I didn't really talk to anyone. It really affected me in that way, especially because I was like social anxiety. Didn't really talk to anyone. Didn't feel comfortable around like women because I was so guilty, especially in my own sin. I was like, I don't know about this. And then once I got a girlfriend who was the same way almost, it just festered. And it got into my FaceTime and stuff like that.
And then it just overindulged.
Yeah, overindulged, and eventually my parents found out. And so it was like the end of sophomore year. Parents found out, and then that's when like the rarest thing in my life happened. Was just it was that, and then it led on to a break of trust within my household, and I was like treated like a criminal, my own home, and that.
I wanted to ask that because I was like, it sounds like you're getting isolated at this time. Like,
it
sounds like
isolated. And especially my relationship with my mother was heavily broken and stuff. And it was just bad because this is a little bit of a side story. What this happened. I'm pretty ashamed of this. It was like May 17th. And I was looking at my life ahead of me, and I was all like, it just felt off. I was looking at all the broken puzzle pieces like in front of me. I was like, how do I fix this? And I just didn't feel anymore. And I was all like, maybe there's no hope left. So I tried to commit suicide. And then I was like, this isn't like any me to do it. Called hotline. Didn't want my mom finding out, so I hung up on a hotline. Then the cops came in the house. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're going through it. What grade is it?
This is sophomore year, summer, going into junior year. It's just the reason the cops came, it wasn't doing anything bad. It's just,
you hung up. You was not supposed to hang up.
This, I'm like, we gotta come make sure you're okay.
Yeah.
Of course, my mom was like upset because she thought I was gonna send to the psych ward, which I didn't. It's good, but she was all like, "You should have come and told me." And it's like, I don't trust you. I'm sorry.
Time out. I want to pause right there.
Yeah, I got you.
Genesis. Tell me the fall story.
The fall story happens between like Adam and Eve.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, Eve sins first, but the thing is, Adam follows suit. And then I think I know you're getting at because they hide from God, and they're all like they're just guilty, and so they're hiding, covering themselves, and God's all like where are you, like? And the thing I loved about that story is that he doesn't come in a booming, angry way. He comes like a father, and he's all like, where are you at? Like, what's happening?
I see you living out the purpose of what you're in. I was
like, tell me what's wrong. Like, tell me what's wrong, and we can get through this. And unfortunately, because here's the thing, you reap what you sow. Like, I did have to get punished for that, for like my sins. Like, I wasn't like on social media that whole summer.
You would surely die, but there's a way that God reconciles it. God didn't stop loving them after they sinned. God didn't stop loving them after none of that.
Yeah.
You just had to handle it the right way. So I brought that up to ask you, in that situation and in what's going on with your mom right now, how do you see the similarity?
The similarities is like, my mom loves me, I just don't know it. I don't see it that way. It's the same way that Adam and Eve probably thought it with God. They're probably thinking, because that's what you hide, you feel guilty, you think you're gonna get like punished bad or something. And like
And just find out I have sex, you know what I'm saying? For me, like Christian wise, you're losing everything. Like, phone, this, you lost all rights as a child. You know, you are turned into a servant now. And I can see, I know that feeling. You know, I know that feeling of if I'm dead, like it's over. Like even when she caught me watching porn, like that was still scary for me. You know, like going through that, like computer jumping, having anyway, so like, so going to the comparison. You know, like how do you see the comparison, and was that something you was able to see as a kid?
Not at the time. But now that I look back on it, and you know, it smokes weird. I do see it like now, like looking back. It's like, dang. I mean, look back at it because, like this is, because you know, I had this philosophy. It's like, same. I got some skateboarding because it's like you gotta fall to get back up. You can't get back up without being on the ground. That's just the truth of life.
And if you never fall, you keep going up high. That fall is going to get so much greater.
Yeah, you know, like Icarus.
You know, so if you're not used to, I call it taking a knee. Yeah. You know, so to prevent us from falling, we take a knee. Yeah. So when we go high, take a knee. Take a knee. Because you will rather take the knee yourself than
it's just being grounded, and that's something like I've wanted for like a minute now, especially coming into like college, because you know. It was ever since then my relationship with my girlfriend was just bad, because at the same time I started having like mental issues. Like I don't know if I'm not gonna mention because that's his business, but like with me, some type of shadow work type stuff started happening. Like I count it as shadow work because this is another thing that happened.
What's that?
So shadow work is basically it's like it has to do with alter egos. Yeah. And I had something like that happen, but it was like a split personality that came off me. It was like feeding on me, and I thought it was like DID for a minute, because I don't know if you know much about like mental health stuff like that. So I don't know if you know much about DID.
I do. I do have a therapist. I do have a one coach. I'm new to the mental health industry. I was highly against it, but now I'm a product of this. This is a product of it. Like I've been getting a lot better, so I do testify.
I
you need it, bro. Take it. It's not anybody who's trying to change you. There are people who are listening to what you have to say.
The same thing, because
to walk you through.
That summer freshman year, I started counseling because my mom immediately saw, hey, some things are going on, so we gotta fix it. But about DID, basically, some of these people know. DID is just disassociative identity disorder. It's basically, you ever see the movie Split? Yeah, it's like the guy that has all the personalities. Yes. So I mean that's not a big representation of DID because it doesn't work that way. But DID is like you have people. I'm not gonna call it like that because that seems like it's tasteful. Yeah. But you have identities inside of you that come from trauma. And I had one that I just named Crow, but I'm not gonna count as DID because I'll tell you why in a minute. It was that next year, my junior year. And this is kind of like going forwards, but I'm just saying this. We'll get this out of the way. I was sitting there talking with this thing. I'm looking at it, and finally, I'm saying, "Oh, wait a minute! You've been messing me up this entire time. You've done nothing good for me." And then finally, I saw freaking Satan. Demonic spirit. And I was like, "Dude, you tricked me this entire time." So I just said, "Be gone from me."
It has an angel of light.
Yeah. Yes, thing is, Satan comes in as a blessings. It's just curses disguised as blessings, and it's the same thing with my ex because, that's my relationship with Christ was being really tested when I was with her because she wasn't really a Christian, she didn't believe in all that. Like I believed in it. There's many times I told her I wish you'd be a Christian. I had some bad moments with that, honestly.